And my wife comes in. You vote for Donald Trump? 17 times you vote for him? Do you know your wife is a Mexicana? Your daughters are Mexicanas. Your family is from Mexico. You vote for him? Then you're racist too. I'll never look at you the same way again, ever. I swear to God, 4 years later, my wife's like, fuck, I can't believe it, but I'm voting for Trump. Holy shit, let me tell you. I don't know. I am not a person who menstruates. I'm a woman. I'm a mujer. Pinche bendejes.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today I have a great video, maybe a couple, to share with you guys today. The support for President Donald Trump is growing. It's surging across this country. More and more people are starting to come out. I honestly think that there are a lot of people kind of in the closet when it comes to supporting Trump, but you got a lot of people that are starting to come out and say, nah, we got to get these crazy people up out of office. We got to make it happen ASAP. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. And without further ado, let's go.
Hey, do me a favor really quick, a little unorthodox, but turn to the person next to you and say, hey, I'm really glad that you're alive and I'm really glad that you're here right now. Just do that real quick. That's called love and that's called unity, right? We're here for unity, right? We're here to make sure that we value every single person. Every single person. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a libertarian and independent, every single one of us is a child of God. Every single one of us is deserving of being seen and heard and loved and valued.
He's absolutely right, man.
Amen. 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 Listen, I'm not going to take too much time, but I did want to just give you a little context why Shazam is standing here talking to you about these various things. I grew up in my family, Christian conservative. That was pretty much kind of the lane that we were in. My parents were Kennedy Democrats that then turned into Reagan Republicans. And they taught me to have a healthy level of distrust for the government and a healthy level of distrust for industry that runs amok. And for a long time, I was like, man, I really want to find a politician that represents all of the things that I want and I want to see in a presidential candidate. And this year, I found Bobby Kennedy. And I thought, man, this guy's it. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. And in a perfect world, and whatever that would look like, perhaps I would have voted for Bobby. But we don't live in a perfect world. In fact, we live in a very broken one. And we live in a country that has been hijacked by a lot of people who want to take this place way off the cliff. And we're here to stop that, right? We're here to make sure that we are going to take back this country. We are going to make it great again. We are going to make it healthy again. And so I stand with Bobby, and I stand with Tulsi, and I stand with everyone else who is standing with President Trump. Because I do believe that of the two choices that we have, and we only have two, Donald Trump, President Trump, is the man that can get us there. And he's going to get us there because he's going to have the backing and the support and the wisdom and the knowledge and the fight that exists in Robert Kennedy Jr. and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. So please, let's welcome them to the stage right now.
I'll say this much. Shout out to this brother here. Obviously, you know, this is Zachary Levy or Levi. He's definitely putting his career on the line by making this announcement, this endorsement of President Donald Trump. We know how those in Hollywood, we know how they feel, you know, about the right, the conservatives. We know how they feel. So the fact that he's willing to get up here, you know, and put his, you know, his name, his career on the line by supporting Donald Trump tells you everything that you need to know about the state of this country and where we are. If you are a United States citizen, you have an obligation to do everything that you can to make sure that this country stays pointed in the right direction. And it's just so unfortunate because the direction that, you know, a Kamala Harris, a Tim Walz, that they want to take us is a direction that has failed so many times across the world. I got another video to share with you guys. This is from Liberal Hive Mind. We're going to do a reaction to this. We're going to check it out. And I'll put the link to the video in the description box. So check it out if you want to do so without my commentary. But without further ado, let's keep going.
next that I want to show you guys. That'll spur the topic of conversation. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so this popped up on my timeline, and it's what inspired this video. Take a look.
One of the things that people are so excited about with this Trump union with Tulsi Gabbard and Robert Kennedy is that you're having these movements that seem to be almost impossible to achieve outside of an outsider, like the Make America Healthy Again concept. Like, what are you talking about? You're going to go up against these companies that have been donating to these political parties forever and have allowed them to have these regulations that are allowing them to have these dyes in food that's illegal in our neighboring Canada? Like, what? This is no one's done that before, right? So that's very exciting.
Okay, so
to me, that seems like something to be truly excited about. That seems like something that should generate legitimate, authentic excitement. Not this phony Kamala nonsense, this fake, exaggerated, manufactured excitement for a career politician with a pretty abysmal, pretty pathetic record. What's more exciting? The possibility of electing actual anti-establishment candidates? A unity ticket that's making incredible promises on such an important issue such as our health? That, or Kamala Harris just simply existing on a stage with Megan Thee Stallion gyrating her booty? What is more exciting to you? I mean, what is more genuine and most importantly substantive? I think the answer is clear. Seeing stuff like this gets me freaking excited.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm excited about it as well, and I'm gonna let Kay talk here in a second, but I will say this. I had mentioned this maybe last week, I don't know, maybe a week beforehand. The Democrats, they were talking about how they were bringing down the cost of diabetes medicine, but there was no conversation on how we can get people off the medication, get people's weight down, get people healthy. There's never been any real conversation around we have to start empowering people to hit the gym, make better food choices, so forth and so on. Lord knows I'm guilty of it as well. We got to do better as a country. We got to do better. But the conversation around, oh, we want to lower the price, medications for whether it's, high blood pressure or diabetes. And it seems like the big topic is diabetes because we lead the world, if I'm not mistaken. I believe we lead the world in diabetes cases. And the conversation is around the medication, not actually getting people healthy and off of these medications. So I'm glad to see, you have a K Jr. here, you have a Trump willing to have someone on the team, you have Trump willing to bring a Tulsi in on the team, because to me, it seems like Trump is more about the American people. He wants to see us healthy, safe. He wants our borders closed. He wants Americans to flourish, to where you got people that are part of the deep state, people that are part of the uniparty. It's about fattening their pockets and maintaining power, opposed to empowering the American people.
This is what most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children. And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way until the early 1990s. Our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal. But now, in 2024, we're finally waking up to this cataclysm, and we're asking ourselves, how in the world did this happen? A big part of it is our diet. Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food, a few people get very, very rich, and the toxins end up in every supermarket aisle. Let me show you what I mean. Doritos, Cheez-Its, Cap'n Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tetrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces. It's called coal tar, and I've actually sued many big industries for legacy contamination of coal tar all around the country because it's so toxic and it's so harmful to the environment and human beings. A century ago, it was just an obnoxious industrial byproduct that everybody was trying to figure out ways to get rid of. One of the ways that they did that was by paving roads. But then a British chemist figured out that the coal tar could be used to derive fabric dye. And if fabric dye, why not food? Food manufacturers began using it to cover up the discoloration of low-quality foods that they wanted to pass off on unsuspecting customers. They didn't know back then that this yellow dye, tartrazine, causes tumors, asthma, developmental delays, neurological damage, ADD, ADHD, hormone disruption, gene damage, anxiety, depression, intestinal injuries. Well, we know it now. We've known this for decades. That's why tartrazine is heavily restricted in other countries. In some countries, foods with tartrazine have a warning label that it may cause ADHD in children. Today, it's made from petroleum, not coal tar. Either way, it's crazy to add this to your kids' favorite foods. It doesn't even change the flavor. This yellow dye isn't just in junk food. It's in the foods that we consider healthy. It's in everyday kids' snacks like popcorn, mac and cheese, fruit snacks. It's in sports drinks like Gatorade and so-called vitamin water. It's even added to chicken broth, to corn, to pickles, to mustard, and to yogurt. And so, of course, our kids get sick. And we lovingly feed them chewable vitamins which have, surprise, tartrazine. And so the cycle continues until the coughs and asthma kick in, at which point you go to pick up some cough syrup. And yeah, you guessed it, tartrazine. I've been picking on tartrazine today, but that's just one of at least 100 chemical poisons that our health agencies allow into our children's food. I can make a video just like this to talk about Red 40, BHA, BHD, potassium bromate, chemical after chemical, and on and on and on. If just one of them can cause all of these problems, imagine what they're doing in combination. That has never been studied. If we took all of these chemicals out, our nation would get healthier immediately. We'd have fewer sick days. We'd have better focus. We'd have less anxiety. Our kids would learn more easily. We'd lose weight. We'd have more energy. We'd have fewer tumors and longer lives. It's not all dark. Over the past 16 years, the government has banned 8 chemical additives that cause cancer, genetic damage, asthma, and many of the other health conditions as tartrazine does. And you know what's interesting? All 8 of those crucial steps forward in our kids' health were taken under President Trump. But the Democrats who claim to be all about health care have stood by watching other countries ban these poisons and make our kids sick, asthmatic, hyperactive, and depressed. They left them on every supermarket shelf in America. They even used your tax money to put them in your kids' school lunch. So their big food and their big ag donors probably gave them all that golden handshake and the big money hug. And their big pharma donors probably called them up and thanked them also, because now they're going to make billions selling Adderall, Prozac, and rescue inhalers. Enough is enough. President Trump and I are going to stop the mass poisoning of American children. Together, we're going to make America healthy again.
Wow. Wow. Sheesh. Talk about scary. Who knew? Now you guys realize the threat that an RFK Jr. is to the establishment, the threat that a President Donald Trump is to the establishment, the threat that a Tulsi Gabbard is, and anybody else that decides that they're going to get on board with this. They're a threat to the bottom line of a lot of companies in this country. Wow. I learned something today. I hope you guys learned something today as well. I don't have a whole lot to add to this. It's just mind-boggling. I'm still trying to process this, but there needs to be more talk around Americans doing everything that they can to get healthy, meaning making the proper food choices. We got to figure a way to wean ourselves off of these drugs. We got to. There can't be another conversation around, oh, we're going to lower the price of prescription drugs, but no conversation around how can we get people healthy. Maybe we start to subsidize gym memberships and things of that nature. But I guess maybe that may sound too much like right. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment. Looking forward to hearing from you. Consider joining the ARP family. Supports me to team the channel. God bless each person that has joined the ARP family. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. and we'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.